Welcome to another edition of BURGH Watching. This is the second in a series focusing on the Manchester Bidwell Corporation located here on Pittsburgh's North Shore. Today, we'll be exploring the Manchester Craftsmen's Guild Youth and Arts Program. We're here at the North Shore campus to talk with Dave Deily, Director of the Youth and Arts Department. Let's go meet Dave. Hi, Dave.
Hi, Erin.
Thank you so much for being on the show. So this is an incredible space. I would love it if you gave us the green tour.
Okay, great.
Great. All right.
So this space is the raw materials lab, where the students learn about all the raw materials that are just mined from the earth. And they make both the clay bodies and the glaze formulas from those, which some examples of those are up here, which are the glass coatings on the ceramic.
Wow. Now, this room I find really interesting because I think it's a really good example of how the arts programs here support the traditional classroom. So tell me a little bit about that.
Well, not only just we're teaching the students art processes, but we are actually exposing them to both math and science through the process of making clay and glazes here.
Very cool. So what do you have for me here?
Well, we're going to get the clay ready to be able to do the wheel throwing process.
Great.
So we're going to use this machine right here, which actually is going to blend and mix the clay. So we're going to get some, we're going to take some material. We're going to grab some of this here, and we're going to place it in this opening.
All right.
And we're going to just pull down on this handle here. That's going to force the clay through this machine, which is going to mix it, blend it, and take the air bubbles out of the clay. So.
Now, why is it important to get all of the air out of the clay while you're working with it?
Well, if there's any air in the clay, when you heat it up, it expands and it'll actually break the piece when it's made. So. All right. So if you want to grab some clay, we can head on out to the studio.
Great. Let's go. I'm really excited. So this is very exciting. I've really been looking forward to this. So why don't you show me what some of the first steps are here?
Well, great. Yeah, we're just going to have to portion out the clay into some smaller pieces. Okay. So you might want to tear your clay in half, and then also just kind of make it into a ball. So knead it and make it into a ball as well as possible.
So tell me a little bit about who your students are here.
Oh, okay. Our programs serve 9th through 12th grade high school age students.
So that's pretty amazing, 9th through 12th grade. I've been looking around at some of the work here in the studio, and it's very advanced. I mean, these kids are pretty talented. Yeah,
we get students from all skill levels from all over the city of Pittsburgh and the greater Pittsburgh area. So we really we have a diverse group of students and a wonderful opportunity for them to get engaged with the arts.
Great. Well, I think I'm ready. Do I look good?
Yeah, that looks great.
All right, let's head on over.
Yes, bring your clay over to the wheel.
Okay. Okay, if I put on an apron?
Yeah, that's a great idea.
My best Mr. Rogers imitation. Okay. All right. This is very cool. So we talked a little bit about the students here. Tell me what kind of impact this program has had on the students.
Well, it's really given the students an opportunity to experience a lot of things they may not have the opportunity to experience in a traditional school setting. Along with the arts classes that we teach here, we also have a lot of field trips. We have a lot of visiting artists. We give the students opportunity to go to like National Portfolio Day yearly, which is a field trip for them to be able to go get their work looked at by colleges.
That's amazing. Let's get started here. We'll talk a little more about that.
Great.
What is the first thing I do?
Well, let me show you real quickly how this process works before you try it.
That's probably a good idea.
So what you want to do is take one of your balls of clay and you want to place it into the middle of the wheel as close as possible. So we place it on the wheel head, excuse me, and then we're going to do 3 steps of the throwing process. The first step is to center the clay. So how you're going to achieve that is you're going to want to sit fairly close to the wheel, and you're going to want to press pressure on your clay from the side with the palm of your hand, with your left hand. So you see how that can control the clay from the side? And then with your right hand, you want to bring pressure down on top. And if you combine these pressures, you can achieve a process called centering by getting the clay right in the middle of your wheel.
I'm not doing this very well.
Well, that's
why
okay.
am I not doing this very well? Explain to me why.
Well,
Am I too?
maybe you have a little too much water on there to start out, but go ahead.
Okay.
If, okay, try that and see. Now, make sure you continuously have the top pressure on there so it doesn't want to slide off. So spin it a little.
Here you go.
Spin it a little faster. Excellent.
Hey, there, look at that.
Yeah, you might want a little water there to reduce the friction on there. Great.
Oh, look at that. I'm actually doing something right.
That's wonderful.
Yay, me. This
So-
is fantastic.
So once you achieve centering, once you get the clay in the middle of the wheel, the next step is going to be opening. So actually I make like kind of like a tripod with my hands, and I want to plunge down into the clay right in the middle and then pull back. So this is opening. And I'm probably making this look a little easier than it is just because I've
definitely are.
practiced it for quite a few years.
Yeah, you're much more of an expert than me. So
Excellent though, you're doing a great job.
So you were talking a little bit about how the kids get an opportunity to have their work looked at. Now, who generally is taking a look at their work?
Well, the students, through the processes that we teach here, they can come with no prior experience, but then by making the work, we follow all the way through the process from the world-class materials to the facility to the talented teaching artists, and they get to prepare their works for exhibition even. So we have opportunities throughout the year for the students to show their work and sell their work, whether it be at our gallery on site or at a gallery off-site.
So they really get to see the entire process from start to finish.
Definitely.
Now, have any of your students gone on and done this as a profession?
We've had many students over the years. The program being founded in 1968, you can imagine we have many students off in many fields, but some do go on to be fine artists and production potters, and in this case, you know, maybe model makers producing functional pottery.
That's amazing. And I mean, just from the little bit I've been doing this so far, it's quite an art form. I mean, it's not easy at all.
No, you're doing a great job. So once you get it open like you have, then we're going to do the third and final step of making a pot on the potter's wheel, which is called pulling. But pulling, the term is a little deceiving because really it's like squeezing the clay between your fingertips from both sides and coming up at an even, smooth rate.
Oh, I will not be able to do that. Okay.
Oh, I believe. You might want to slow down your wheel a little bit because it's really easy to mess it up. At any point of this process, it's easy to flop it down, which is no problem because we can just try another piece of clay.
I probably should not be still pushing down, right?
This process, it's usually it's easiest if you put one hand on the inside of your form and one hand on the outside. And if you're working in kind of like this 5 o'clock position, this is where the clay is going away from you over here. So you're kind of extruding it through your fingertips.
Oh, I see.
And you can just kind of squeeze the clay and move at a nice even rate of speed, touching the whole surface. But you're doing a wonderful job, truly.
I made a lopsided dog dish, it looks like, but that's all right.
That's amazing what you've done.
It's
truly
useful.
So
now see, my sides are wobbly a little bit.
Well, once you get to that point, you can use some of these tools that we have laid out here to actually rub on the surface. So if you just rotate your clays at a medium speed, you can take, these are called ribs, and you can actually just use those in place of your hands to rub on the surface of the clay and shape your piece to do some final finishing. So sometimes that can help a little bit, you know, in getting it more.
I'm still a little lopsided.
Oh, that's okay. I think that's far superior to anything I made in probably the first year of trying this process. So you
really?
Oh, you've done
Look, a
wonderfully.
hidden talent. I can quit my day job.
Oh yeah, no, it's really truly it's amazing. I wouldn't believe that you hadn't tried it before by looking at that piece that you made. That's wonderful.
All right, well that's a lie. I did try it once before, but it was a long time ago, many years ago. And I talked to you about this before, but my mother is actually an artist, and she did many things like this. And obviously, I've been around it, but very exciting to actually have the opportunity to do it. So now you talked really briefly about how long this ceramics program has been around. It's really kind of almost the backbone of Manchester. So talk to me a little bit about the history.
So truly, like the ceramic process and this specific process in ceramics, the throwing process, have a really close place at the heart of Manchester Craftsmen's Guild. Yeah. The founder, Bill Strickland, was inspired and got his vision to create the Manchester Craftsmen's Guild through an experience he had with his ceramic art teacher at Oliver High School.
Oh my gosh.
So just looking into a room and seeing Frank Ross sitting at a potter's wheel making a pot started the relationship that Bill says truly changed his life and gave him the inspiration to make the arts accessible to all equally. So
it's amazing, and it's amazing how closely the history of Manchester Craftsmen and Manchester Bidwell Corporation itself is tied into the history of Pittsburgh. I mean, it's all from here.
Well, it all stems out of just the relationship between Frank Ross and Bill Strickland, both the jazz music, the culinary arts school we have, the fine arts that we do, and all these things just stem out of the classroom experience that Frank Ross exposed Bill Strickland to in the 60s. So it is truly, it is a wonderful story, and I mean, if you want to learn more about it, there's actually, Bill wrote a book on it called Making the Impossible Possible. So I don't know if you've read that book, but if you'd like to, that would really give you an in-depth look into the experience that he had with Frank Ross and the foundation of his organization.
And I'm sure it's so inspirational.
Oh no, it's wonderful.
So, the whole building and every component of it is just such an integral part of Pittsburgh, the arts community, the education community. What can our viewers do to help?
Well, they can definitely get involved by coming and experiencing Manchester Craftsmen's Guild firsthand, because we have a lot of public events, the jazz concerts, the art exhibitions, the artist lectures that we have. So I'd say if you haven't been to the Manchester Craftsmen's Guild, you should definitely come and see it, as well as if you just want to get involved in supporting Manchester, you can go online to mcgyouthlandarts.org, find out how you can get involved, whether it be, like I said, getting involved with some of the opportunities that we have to offer, or if you want to financially support the programs and make this opportunity consistent for the kids to be able to have into the future. So.
Great. Well, I definitely need more lessons, but I'll take this for now. What do we do next?
Oh, well, we've cut the pottery off the wheel, so we'd actually remove it from the wheel head, and then we'd let it dry, and we'd start with some of its finishing processes. So depending on how you want to decorate it, or maybe carve the surface a little bit, I can show you some of that as we move into the glaze
That would
room.
be amazing. Let's take it to the next step.
Okay. Okay, so if you just want to place your piece of pottery on the shelf right here, then this is where it's going to actually dry out, and when it becomes bone dry, like the stage of this piece right here, it'll be placed in the kilns over here. So I just wanted to share with you a few of the finishing pieces of equipment we have, and then some of the finishes that are options for the students to do.
These are amazing, and I think tell me a little bit about how these happened.
Okay. Well, most recently, just last week, we had our visiting artists from China here, and we had a master wheel thrower, a master decorator, and a master trimmer come and work along with the students in a 3-day workshop.
That's amazing.
And this was all along with West Virginia University, so we also got to take a group of students down to West Virginia University and be able to see the campus and their facilities as well for ceramics.
This is amazing. So, I mean, people really don't realize, I think, the magnitude of some of the visiting artists who come and the students can actually learn from.
Definitely, along with our teaching artist staff that we have, which our teaching artists are actually artists in their own right. They are practicing, participating in shows like Three Rivers Arts Festival, for example, and actually producing bodies of work of their own. But along with that, throughout the year, we do have artists that come in not only the ceramics discipline, but photography, design arts, digital arts. And what that looks like is there's actually an exhibition of their works in our gallery. There's a public lecture and reception, and the workshop that I shared with you that the students get to engage the artists for 3 to 4 days.
So such amazing opportunities.
Oh, it's wonderful. And truly, in ceramics, I can speak for, these are like the Picassos of ceramics that the kids get to have access to and work hand in hand with.
That's incredible. And the equipment that you have in here really gives them the opportunity to try every different medium.
It is true. In ceramics, obviously, like as we talked about having a close spot at the heart of the organization, we have a wonderful ceramics facility.
Right.
So this, what you see here, these are actually ovens for ceramics called kilns. We both have gas kilns and electric kilns, and we have a building located in the rear of the facility that actually houses a couple other kilns that do atmospheric firings like soda firing and raku firing. So why that's important is it gives the students the opportunity to recreate historic glaze finishes and textures that they can go and hold their piece of ceramic up against something like even at the Carnegie Museum and say, wow, my red glaze looks a lot like the red glaze from 3,000 years ago. Or, oh, my Shino really looks like a typical Shino you'd find in Asian culture. So this work can truly grow with the students. The more they learn about their experiences here, the more they can see that the world-class quality of the experience they're having. So.
Great. So what other equipment is in here in the finishing room?
Well, mostly we do the firing processes in this room. The room that we we prepared our clay in, the raw materials lab, is where we apply the glazes and the colors to the pottery. So the glass coatings and the other treatments.
Excellent. Very cool. All right, well, let's go back out and finish up our work.
Great.
All right, so should we try another one?
Sure.
Great. Let's see if I can outdo the first one, maybe. So, one of the things that I always ask my guests here on BURGH Watching is, why Pittsburgh? Why Pittsburgh for you personally? Why do you choose to live and work here?
Well, I was born and raised in Pittsburgh, so it's really truly home to me. And I think traveling around the country, I don't know, I really love the landscape of Pittsburgh, the hills, the bridges, and the nature. And we have wonderful parks, and we really do have a vibrant arts community here as well. So I'd say that's definitely the reasons Pittsburgh for me.
It's a perfect place for you to call home, right?
Definitely.
Great. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. I really appreciate you taking the time out of what's a really busy schedule.
Oh, well, thanks for being here.
Thanks. And thank you guys for joining us for another episode of BURGH Watching. Make sure to stay up to date on all things BURGH by following us on Facebook, www.facebook.com/BURGHLiving, and on Twitter under our username @BURGHLiving. Join us again for another edition of BURGH Watching when we explore another of the wonderful departments at the Manchester Bidwell facilities here on Pittsburgh's North Shore. We'll see you next time. All right, let's get started.
Yeah, let's get started.
All right.
Might want to add some water on there.